So what is the most important piece of advice you could give students embarking on this course?
Trust yourself. There were so many points during the year where you just doubt yourself.
Be consistent with your research method, as lame as that sounds. It's like, I just had this document set up where I'd have like just blank boxes, and then you'd get your journal article, your book, or your documentary, and do like name, date, like all the boring bibliographical stuff.
And I think one of the biggest things with such a long project is that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the logbook.
Yeah.
As annoying as it sounds, you think, oh, a logbook. But when we did keep up with it, we found it really useful to go back and see, wait, where did this idea even come from? Oh, I got it from this source, I got it from here. If you need to swap or, switch a couple of ideas or quotes, you've got a whole list that you've used.
Because you're working in a cohort of people who have equally amazing ideas and are equally as motivated, it's so easy to get discouraged and to get caught up in other people's races and other people's journeys.
I remember for my project, my history teacher actually found me this book that was written, I don't know, like in 1800s or something. And it was incredibly useful for my project because obviously something written in 1800s is going to have like a huge evolution, and obviously the conclusions they drew back then will be very different now. So for me, I was able to use it in my project, and the way I was able to use it was to say, this is how attitudes towards this one group of people were back then. Look how much history has changed and evolved. So I would say when you're choosing your sources, use a wide breadth of sources. Don't just be really narrow in your focus.
Just constantly giving yourself scope to breathe as well.
Yeah.
So setting out a timetable, talking to teachers, being kind to your future self.
In the exam, so not just for our major work, having those debates, or not just cherry picking, like you said, an argument or a quote that you think, oh, that's great. But sometimes when you cherry pick just one thing, you're actually taking it out of context from what it's actually supposed to be. So using the nuances and the debates actually make your argument so much stronger, because you're automatically going to have to critique that and pick a side and pick a point. And I think that's what might set you apart from someone that just recounts the statistics or the quotes, as opposed to you being, no, this is the two things and this is where I'm going with it.
Remembering that, well, you're there because you're interested in it, you're there because you've worked hard and you deserve to be there, and knowing that your ideas matter just as much as anyone else's and that everyone's in the same boat.